My favorite segment, Real Talks, episode 23 is back. And the reason why this is my personal favorite segment, because the Real Talks that I employed to y'all niggas, they gave me something once upon a time. And when they gave me something, it opened and expanded my mind beyond the depths that I thought it can be expanded to. And like they say, knowledge is power, motherfucker. Listen with these old adages and aphorisms that's been lasting since the test of time. Knowledge is power, and be it that it is, I started these real talks to not only expand my mind, but to help expand anybody who sees this shit as food. So be it that this is food, these be my favorite segments. I like the eye test. I like the break. I like all the segments, honestly. Dame's World is my world, essentially, nigga. This is me. So I love all that shit in Dame's World. But preferentially, when I get to kicking that shit with my people, my friends, my relative existence around me that I've created in my matrix, it's always catered towards shit like the Real Talks. So with that being said, Real Talks episode 23 is actions versus intentionality. And not versus in a sense that they're opposed to one another. Both action and intentionality need to be taken account when discerning an individual or discerning a situation at hand with individuals responsible. Now, what do I mean by actions versus intentionality? Now, for me, my opinion, the world is a duality, a dual world of tangible and intangible. The tangible things is how humans sensually perceive this world. The action at hand. Somebody going, whatever it is, driving their car, we see the action of what's going on. The intentionality, however, is the meaning behind the action. And we usually have to regard humans when we talk about intentionality because it seems no other objects in nature deviate with their intentionality. There's more of a, in my opinion, purity to other forms of conscious life. Let's say, for example, the tree. The tree is compelled by a certain law and is bound to their environment. Therefore, they can't do nothing but grow and do essentially what seems to be their purpose. Their intent to be on this planet was made to provide oxygen, such and such. They don't have no choice but to be good to this bitch. Animals, on the other hand, are in the medium between the will of a plant and the will of a human, where it looks like they do apply choice, but their will can be subjugated by the will of human beings. And with human beings, the reason why we have to talk about actions versus intent when it comes to human beings, because our intentions are in question. We have something, or we think we have something, called free will. The ability to choose. Something about this human existence tells us that we have choices. And it feels, you can't tell a nigga they don't. It feels so real. But when you talk about the possibility of intricate design, you being a part of that intricate design, plant, animal, or human, then maybe you were intricately designed to choose the things that you think you're choosing. But that's beside the point, and later for this episode, we have to touch on actions versus intentionality and why it's an important component to have for humans. Actions don't always display the full tale. Neither does intentionality. You have to be capable of discerning both action with intentionality, or you be walking around this bitch with a low level of discernment. You'll be susceptible to tricks, fuckery, games, deception, what the religious call the devil. Reason being, somebody just fixated on actions, let's say. You know, we externalize everything, so we're more so tangible than intangible. We have to tap into reading intentionality more so because we've been groomed on a materialistic way of viewing things. Somebody who has money is smart. We'll associate external factors to try to label or discern the action at hand. For example, buying a girl flowers, right? You would say buying a girl flowers is a romantic thing to do. That implies love. Well, that's how we just externalize the action of buying flowers. But the reality is, we have to discern who bought the flowers and why they bought the flowers. The intentionality. You can't just look at the action of, let's say, a man giving a girl flowers on Facebook and be like, oh, this is why shit like Facebook is so deceptive. Because you see an action and you can't grasp the intentionality behind a snapshot. You can't grasp that universal language of real recognizing real behind a photo. So you see a guy buying a girl flowers and you put love, I love it, smiley face. But peep where the trick lies. Let's say two guys buy flowers for this girl now. One guy buys flowers with the intent in his head, look, oh man, she got a big old booty. I'm trying to get some pussy. Because I learned that buying flowers is considered quote unquote romantic. We love to objectify actions. I've learned that this is a good deed. I'm going to give her some flowers so I can get some pussy. And matter of fact, I'm going to post it on Facebook. In opposition to the guy who says, you know what? I really want to get to know this girl. I think she's cool. And I think flowers would be a good overture to start this relationship and this entanglement. Get Jada Pinkett Smith out your head. And we've been entangling before Jada Pinkett ever said the word entangling. But trying to really get to know you, therefore I'm going to buy you flowers. Two guys buy flowers. Two guys show the same action, but have two totally different intent. My woman out there, let me ask you, if you knew a nigga bought you flowers just to get the pussy, wouldn't you look at buying flowers differently? This is why people intentionality is so important. Another example of this would be, okay, let's say you got a family member, you need some money, you need $100, let's say. You got a family member, Lonnie, let's say, who's rich, a millionaire. And then you got a family member, but Lonnie don't tell you he rich. You don't even know he rich. You don't know none of these niggas' funds. So you can only see action, right? Lonnie is worth $1 million. Baron, I don't know why I said Baron, but Baron is worth $48. And you need 100. Lonnie can give you that 400 no sweat. It's like 8 cents to that nigga. But Lonnie by character is a stifler. Because he's a stifler, he like, oh man, this nigga, he can't come up with $100. He need his own. Fine, you know what? I get this nigga 75. He give you $75. He worth $1 million. He give you $75 to cover your 75 out of the 100. He gives you the bulk of what you need. The action. He gives you 75. Baron only got $48. But he like, man, I want to look out for my nigga, so I'm going to get paid next week, so I ain't tripping off this little funky 48. I could use the other 20, get me what I need for the week. I'm going to get this nigga 25. He said he need 100. I only got 25 for him. He gives you 25 of his 48, over half of what he got. His intentionality was rooted in helping you. Lonnie's intentionality was he didn't want to give you the money. But on paper, he gave you most of the money. So with you not knowing their intentionality, you might think, oh man, Lonnie looking out. This nigga may have only gave. Unless you're a grateful nigga like me, I'm grateful for all gifts. Give me all the gifts you can and I appreciate it. I don't give a fuck if it's a rock. That goes another example for the intentionality. The fact that you thought to get me a gift displays intentionality more than action. It's the thought that counts. We have to listen to these old ass aphorisms that's been around before us. Actions can be tricky. And with the human nature, like I said, with this free will we think we have, actions might not always display intent. We don't question the action of a plant. Now that I don't think we have to, even though we still have to interpret. I think everything is figurative and literal. How we perceive it may be our literal, subjective human interpretation, but there's a figurative meaning to why the plant does what it does. I think to bring life, to bring that form of consciousness needed for this life. But we don't need to discern whether or not the plant was doing it to get $1. Whether or not the plant did what they did for reasons that aren't natural to them. Whereas humans, we're capable of lying. We're capable of bringing out falsehoods. We're capable of concealing the truth. So having that duality to read the action and the intent is key, and it's still hard when you have a nigga who's good at lying. When you have these actors, per se. Denzel Washington, nigga, he looked like the nigga on Training. I don't even look at him like Denzel Washington. So when I see him convey, that's what makes the actor so good. Their intentionality is so locked in and tapped in that they become that motherfucking role. So it's just something that needs to be peeped. And you talk about, again, Lonnie and Barron. Think deeper. Think about their intent when he gave you $25 opposed to him giving you $75. The nigga only had $48. Another example of this, and this is a good example, one that most of you niggas apply to. Because I'll say this right now in y'all niggas' face. Your job title does not accurately define you. For one, none of the labels you uphold accurately defines you. That's just a role somebody's marginalized you to. You may be all those things materially, but internally to me, you're none of those things. You just play out those roles. But I say most of you niggas really don't uphold your job title because most of your guys' intentionality was never aligned with that job title. We grew up in a capitalistic structure in society that told us the highest paying job or the better route would be what makes more money. So we may get steered away from our intentionality, what we love. You seen on Step Brothers when a nigga said, I always wanted to be a dragon. That's what I always wanted to do. But that don't make no money in society. So therefore, you have to choose an action that aligns with the quote-unquote successful aspect of life while shunning your intent. So this is where you tie in, nigga. This is where you tie in. Your job title. Let's say you thought, okay, doctors make $100,000. I was a lawyer because I knew it made a lot of money. Then your job title is irrelevant. Let me tell you why. Because if your intentionality was to make money, you're going to compromise the meaning of that job title for the sake of what you really did it for, the hustle. Most of you niggas are hustlers. You're not, oh, I'll work at Burger King. You're not a burger. You can flip burgers. You play that role, but your intentionality there was to make money. So you hustling. You the job title only means something when that's your intentionality. If you SpongeBob SquarePants and you love flipping burgers and you could give a fuck about the money, you're going to be making the best burgers possible. You're going to be whipping that bitch, you feel me, up there doing your job because that's what you love to do. That's your passion. You can see when somebody's intentionality is in alignment with their actions and their job title, they don't call it a job. They don't call it work. That's their career. That's what they love. That's their passion. That's their purpose. If you don't know your intentionality and your purpose, then you have to ask yourself what part of you is being unfulfilled. What part of this material world have you been taught that leaves you feeling has this insatiable appetite for more, but always unsatisfied? Niggas be billionaires and can't find self because intentionality hasn't been taught. Getting in tune with self hasn't been taught. So most you niggas working, are you a doctor? Okay, you could work at a lot of y'all work at these fast food places and don't eat at them because you know it's junk. But because you're there for the dollar, you're a hustler, you're going to compromise the integrity of what it means to be a burger salesman. A good burger salesman ain't going to sell you toxic waste. They're going to try to sell you the most quality. A good chef, a good pirate is going to get the... Pirate is a thief. A good pirate is going to steal and get the job done. A good doctor is going to try to heal. If you a doctor but you was there for the capital, you a hustler. So if it comes for you to prescribe somebody a medicine because that ups your check, you might do it because you were never a doctor. You just learned the craft, the act of doctoring in order to be a hustler that you are. This is why actions are not the most, actions are only the half of discernment. Intentionality makes it the whole. Actions plus the intentionality. And even then, you can't be sure with lying ass niggas roaming around. Insincere niggas roaming around. Psychopaths who can show you, you be like, damn, my neighbor was cool. I thought he was cool. Because he done figured out the game of action versus intentionality. He doesn't know how to deceive niggas with his actions. And now he murdering people and he your neighbor. You don't know because it was hard to peep that intent. It may not be your fault. Some people so tapped in that they be like, look, I don't trust that neighbor over there. I don't trust that nigga. I don't know why. It's not a cognitive thing when you're tapped into your own consciousness. That's why I say plants, animals, and humans all have this consciousness. It's just levels to this consciousness. The human consciousness thinks it has choice. And I'm not telling niggas they don't. I go to sleep every night telling myself I have choice. But when you talk about intricate design, proclivities, what my nature is already compelled to, somebody made me compelled to like learning. Somebody made me compelled to like certain foods more than other foods. I've had a preference before I came into this shit. So regardless of how much I want to believe that I have the application of free choice, I can't deny proclivities. I can't deny predispositions that I had before me. The intricate design being my genetics, and then the intricate design being whoever shaped this world around me and everything around it. For me, intentionality and energy and consciousness is everywhere. You, 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 if you perceive your consciousness, no matter how it is you perceive, you don't have to perceive like the human does. Plants perceive. Talk to a plant nice, watch that nigga sprout. Talk to a plant greasy, watch that nigga die. Why? Because they don't give a fuck about your actions. You can say, hey, fuck you, plant. You bitch ass nigga. But because he know you coming from a pure place, the plant know you coming from a pure place, it's going to grow. They're more focused on intentionality. They don't have this deceptive, uh, they don't have this deceptive sensibility like humans have. We have our senses and we discern things as reality based on external factors, but plants don't have that. So they only gonna discern you based on, okay, he cool. I don't know what that bitch ass nigga, I don't even know what that mean. He cool. Or you could be try to sweet talk the nigga here, plant here, but you in a downward move. The plant feels that before it hears your words, nigga. And then again, that's just one example of y'all in y'all job. Most people with their jobs, y'all niggas are hustlers. Y'all not the job y'all claim. You hustle to get money, therefore you'll do the job. Some people love what they do and have a passion, and it is their job, and they won't compromise that. These are the moral motherfuckers we see in the doctor's facilities. The ones talking right now during this COVID shit, spreading the information that's being suppressed. The ones who, I didn't come here for the check. I came here with the intent to heal. Nigga, I'm a true doctor. The integrity-based people don't do it for the dollar. Hustlers do it for the dollar. It's that simple. Most niggas are hustlers. Okay, and we got more examples. More examples of how action versus intent is something that ethics, crime, murder, stealing, shit like that. We can't either, and the law knows this. This is why when somebody has intent to distribute or intent to do something, they get more steeper charges. Because the intentionality shit means so much to living beings. You know what I'm saying? So something like stealing, for example. You find out the situation. We can't just base it off of actions because we will say, okay, nobody should steal. Yeah, maybe that's true, but circumstantial wise, it varies, and then every form of stealing is not going to be weighed on the same metric. For example, you come from an affluent environment, you have everything, and you're stealing just for the fun of it. So you take and you only receive just for the act of pleasure. Whereas opposed to somebody can't eat. Somebody don't got no parents and have to fend for themselves and they short on rent, so they go up there and steal a meal for their kids, some shit like that. People are going to be more understanding based on their life affirming nature and be like, oh, this motherfucker was down on it. His intention wasn't to take solely, even though he was reduced to a situation to take. His intention was to feed itself. Therefore, okay, we might not criminalize him as such. We want him to be We want him to be rehabilitated. We don't want him to just be reprimanded for the action, especially if the action was behind intentions that may be perceived just. Ethics are wish-washy because we all have different ethics. We can't tell each other, I can't tell you murder is wrong just because I don't like murder. When revolutions happen, murder is all over the place and I'm pro-revolution. So, under some circumstances, violence can be just, in my opinion. We can't just delegate actions and scoff at the actions without seeing the intentionality and the whole scene of things. That's another way actions versus intent, and both of them have to be factored, is a critical thing and why I'm doing this real talks. Another factor, social settings. You in a club, you chilling. Let me get some water. You in a club, you chilling. You with your boys. A nigga step on your brand new Jordans. You just popped them out the box. First time you wore them. You was excited to wear them for a week and some change. And you said to yourself, if any nigga, you said to yourself before you got in the club, if any nigga step on these bitches, I'm finna lose it. I'm finna lose it. You told yourself that going into the club. So now you go into the club and a nigga does just that. Step on your shoe. He dancing. He jigging with a bra. And step on your shoe on the back end. You mad. You turn around. You mad out the gate. Now, this is where intentionality plays a critical part in social settings. The nigga who stepped on your shoe, he felt it. He felt it. So he has the option to let you know he don't give a fuck. Like, my intention is fuck your shoe. Or he got the option to let you know I didn't mean to step on your shoe, my brother. I just did. And then you have the option to not care or care about his intentionality. Some niggas is so reckless they don't care about their intentionality. I don't give a fuck, nigga. You stepped on my shoe. Boop, 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 boop. You beat up a good nigga because he accidentally stepped on your shoe. Intentionality, when we learn intentionality, it helps for connection. It helps these misunderstandings we have on this physical platform, this social cognitive level. The nigga step on your shoe, like, oh, my bad, bro. I didn't try to step on your shoe. You good, man? I go get you a wipe if you need, my brother. I really wasn't trying to step on your shoe, and I already know how that feels. And then you go, oh, my nigga, it's all good. You didn't mean to do it. It's shit. You know what I'm saying? Accidents happen. You was bumping and grinding, my nigga. And now look, locked arms, connected. Because we done read past the action and discerned intentionality. It means so much. Stop thinking we just live on one plane of existence. We live on at least two drink minimum, nigga. Two plane minimum. I can't tell you the dimensions of existence that there is. I think every perception holds a dimension. But that's for another real talks. Alright, and then we have lastly, again, the universal language. When I say real, recognize real, I say that because when you can peep one's intentionality, you don't always base them solely on what they do. And it's like, for me, my example would be Kanye West. Kanye West to me is displaying himself in his purest form, and he's giving people his thoughts unfiltered, untethered to social norms and constructs. That's why many people can't understand him. So me, my discernment is, what does his intentionality appear to be to me? Like I said, we can't gauge it fully, but we can get a better hold of that shit than some people can. So I'm looking at his intentionality, and it's all catered towards pro-African life, black life. It's all catered towards getting us together, in spite of his comments that may appear a certain way, like the Harriet Tubman comments or the slavery is a choice. Once I listened more and I tried to get his feeling behind it, I saw his intentions were pure. Therefore, I was like, okay, the universal language, in spite of what he's telling me, the universal language is resonating. This brother got good intentions. He may be stifled and he may say things that I don't align with, but I'm rocking with him because I feel his intentionality. As opposed to these presidents. And this is why I say, I don't know how you niggas don't see this shit. You must not be tapped into the universal language. Because every president lies right in our face. Some are better than others. Barack Obama is a fucking good liar. Joe Biden and Donald Trump suck at lying. Donald Trump, I'm going to be honest, Donald Trump don't lie as much as niggas think. He just don't answer no questions. He beat around the bush and he tell his truth. He be wrong about a lot of shit, but he ain't the most lionest president. These motherfuckers who put on the George Bush lied every time. Obama lied most of the time. So that universal language is how we can discern a liar and a deceptionist, like these politicians, these good ass actors, and these motherfuckers around you who are lying and being conniving around you and what you might want to weed out of your life. We want purity. We want truth. I know you heard the song, "You Don't Want to Know If You Playing Me, Keep It on the Low." That's some niggas. I want the truth, because once I get the truth, I can better navigate and deal. I don't like this cloud of distortion, this era of tainted, I don't know if it's real error. I do these videos raw. Some of these motherfuckers get cut off and that shit get cut off because I appreciate the authenticity in this fake ass world. That's how niggas know it's one take Drake out this motherfucker. That's how niggas know it's not cut and sliced and distorted in a certain way. It's just me ranting and rambling. But that universal language will let you know. That's what real and recognized real is about. Another aphorism. I gave you niggas like 3 in this video. You feel me? So, and shit, in conclusion, shit, that's why, those are the reasons why actions don't always display the full picture and intentions don't always display the full picture. For example, if somebody could have intentions again on knocking down a tyrannical government, I don't like how the government operates, therefore I massacre motherfuckers. Somebody kills every head. That'll be like when you have revolutions, that's usually going to be the extent. So, because their intentionality was for the greater good, we still can't dismiss the action of, hey, you niggas did kill. We still don't condone killing. We don't condone the action to an extent. It's bounds to this shit. No self-defense. You know what I'm saying? It depends. Revolutionary is a good justifying means to where it's like, I'm going to accept it. If we had to murder to get out of oppression, I'm going to accept it, but that's just my personal ethics. And for this episode 23, that will be all, man. Actions versus intent. I see a lot of people so fixated on the actions of somebody who read people based on Facebook posts. You're only seeing an externalized action. You don't see the intent. Somebody can be selling you, okay, I'm selling you guys clothes, for example, or I'm selling you jewelry, and I'm putting on Facebook how shiny and glossy and real it is, but in reality, he out there jipping niggas off, ripping niggas off, fake diamonds. You see a relationship on Facebook, you see the action, and you think it's glorious, you think it's beautiful, but then you don't see the intention behind that photo being put up. Maybe they're putting up the photo to masquerade the reality of a depressed, sad, fucked up relationship. But you see on Twitter the action, oh man, they in a good ass relationship. So you fall for the whoop every time. I see niggas posting, I don't know. All I see is the action. I don't know why they posted that. That could be for insecurities. It could be pure. You never know. This is why actions versus intentionality is so important. But that's 28 minutes. It's your boy Dame. As always in these real talks, it's jewels and gems all over the place. Take it, bring it back, give it to your friend, your homie. If they can't discern intentionality, you got a homie who girl cheating and he can't read that universal language of what a cheater is, or somebody who's operating in a deceptive manner, show him this video. I'll give him the game. I'll dig him a grave. It's your boy Dame, man. Peace. Like, subscribe, share, get through the algorithms. My Cash App for the ones donating. I appreciate y'all who already donated. I didn't even expect nothing, but I got something outside from the viewership. So that's love, and let's get through these algorithms and let's keep this community growing and vibing. Peace.